Hey, NorCal Carters, Jason here. It is June 17th, and tonight we have a special show. We're just carrying over the whole Father's Day weekend into our NorCal Mondays show. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 guests with us tonight, plus Ashley. And but real quickly, some housekeeping items to go over. We have a couple races coming up this weekend. I'm going to do some of them. Ashley's going to do the others. But this weekend, Rock Sonoma, they're kicking off their Triple Crown event. So that's their summer series at the Sonoma track, and that's managed by Rock Cup USA. So that's taking place. In this show, we're not going to go over all the different details of every single event. We're just highlighting it. You can go to norcalcarters.com, click on the calendar, see all the events we're going to talk about. But for more information on Rock Cup USA and the Triple Crown, you can visit their social media pages under Rock Sonoma or Rock Cup USA, or their website for all the information, their price packages. And they're also putting together a lot of prizes for their one-off event, the Rock Pacific event in Santa Maria, July 17th through the 19th. And they're giving away entries to Las Vegas for Rock Cup. They're giving away engines. So the classes that meet the pre-entry deadline with, I believe it's only 10 entries. So the entries are not very high. So for each class that hits that 10 pre-entry mark before the deadline, they're going to give away an engine to the competitors for each class. If you win multiple tickets for Rock Vegas, they'll pay for your hotel, the lodging bill down in Vegas. So they're really stacking up the prize packages for one for Vegas and for the Rock Pacific event. So again, Rock Cup USA. And then a little further out in July, we have NCK Road Racing. So you can go to their website, nckroadracing.com. So their schedule's been kind of all over at the beginning part of this year, just because they had a conflict with a scheduling conflict at the beginning, which kind of shuffled their schedule. So visit nckroadracing.com for their current schedule and the details and the tracks. But their big push for 2024 has been Laguna Seca. So that's taking place in the middle of October. So Laguna Seca, and we are rounding up sponsors as we speak for NCK. And that's going to be a good event. They already have 160 confirmed entries with 20 on the waiting list. And there is the possibility of going to 180 entries on the track. But what they're running into, they can only put so many carts on the track during a certain time frame. So if they keep opening it up to more and more entries, what's going to happen is going to cut into the racing time. But 160 entries so far confirmed. So that's exciting news. And with that being said, Ashley, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, we'll bring Ashley up. She's going to go over the remaining upcoming events. I keep muting your mic.
Are you done? All right. Hey, NorCal. So we have 2 races coming up. One, it's sort of 2 races, but it is the CCKRA Prairie City combination night race is coming up in about 2 weeks-ish. And we're excited. So it's going to be Donald's Club and my club put together and at Prairie City for the first race of the night race. The night race 3-race series. So the new series means, what it means is we're starting over. Points start over. We will have new champions at the end of the 3-race series. You do not have to be a member. And there are still tire requirements for certain classes. So there is a list that is out that you can go and get the tires for your class. And there's that. The layout, last I heard, was going to be reverse. Let me say it right. Reverse Grand Prix. Reverse Grand Prix was what I've last heard. So that's coming up, and it should be a good time. Again, we're probably going to do the same thing with parking. So because we are anticipating a lot of carts. There's that. Another project that CCKRA has just announced is we are going to be having our Colby Dubato Memorial Race in August, and we're doing it to celebrate his birthday. We are going to be giving away some prizes in the 100cc categories. So if you race 100cc, go check out what our prizes are. And if you would like to help with the Colby Dubato Memorial Race, there's information about that too on our Facebook page. So there is that. Also, we want to highlight the NorCal Carter's Fitness Challenge. Yep. All the links are being posted in the comments. But NorCal Carter's Fitness Challenge, again, you can contact Dr. Davy Jones on Instagram about that, and he will let you know about joining and where we are with the NorCal Carter's Fitness Challenge. Again, we're doing this to get prepared for November for the barrier races. So it's always a good idea and kind of a hot topic in the region is getting cart fit right now. So NorCal Carter's Fitness Challenge info is on our Facebook page. So we are going to introduce our Kart Dads that we have. We're going to go around and they're going to tell us who they are, their driver, and their class. And then kind of the same this is the same question we asked the moms is, how do you explain what we do to your friends? So name, driver, class, how do you explain what we do to your friends? So we're going to bring everyone up and go around and have everyone introduce themselves. Are we ready? Jason?
Yeah, let's go with Matt. Let's go with Matt first, because that's just in the order of my screen.
All right, go ahead.
Good evening, guys. My name is Matt Godby here, and my driver and son is Cade Godby here. He races senior LO 206, and we started dabbling a little bit in KA 100 this season. And far as explaining to friends, are we ready for that, or is that the next one?
No, that's the question. How do you explain what we do?
I start trying to talk to them about what we do and the time we spend, and I think they start envisioning boomers in their head. So generally I pull out my phone and show pictures and video, and it's like, oh, and so, yeah, a lot of times I think people think about maybe boomers or some indoor track or something along those lines and not really understand what we do.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Next up, Jason, who do you have next? Oh, we have Justin Heath. Hey, Justin.
Hi, Ashley. So I'm Justin Heath. I'm the dad of Jeremy Heath and Nathan Heath. Jeremy races 206 for the Junior 2 class, and Nathan races Senior 206. Occasionally, we'll dabble in the KA. We've gone down to Challenge of Americas and raced down there in Phoenix and Tucson a few times. And trying to explain to people, usually I'll just show them the video because Jeremy's been through some injuries lately. And so then I show them about how fast they go, because most people, just like Matt said, is they think it's like Need for Speed or these little 25-mile-an-hour go-karts. But then I take out the video or post videos online. And down there in like Santa Maria, where we've had a video there where Jeremy had his last crash last year. So.
All right. All right. Thanks for joining us, Justin. Next up, Jason McCune. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Ashley. My name's Jason McCune. My son is Gavin. He races the Junior 2 class. We do a lot of CCKRA, a lot of the Prairie City stuff this year. And there's a few of us actually down here, but we drive from Southern California. And there's a few other people making that drive too. But and then as far as to explaining it, I mean, Gavin will post some stuff on his Instagram. I'll obviously post stuff on Facebook and stuff. But I know Gavin, a lot of his friends that don't know what it is, they talk a lot of crap because they all go to K1 and race and think it's pretty much the same thing. So there's definitely a disconnect there somewhere. But when they see the videos, I think it speaks for itself. It's definitely a different entity.
Yes, definitely. And we have those friends too that are like, "Oh, I'm so good at K1."
Yeah.
But they won't come race go-karts.
Yeah. They all talk like they're gonna come out, and we keep trying to get them to come out. But yeah, they're living the K1 dream, I think.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jason. And last but certainly not least, we are going to bring up Chris Britton.
Hi, guys. My name is Chris Britton. Hope you can see and hear me okay. Anyways, my driver is Mason Britton, my son. He drives in the master's class right now. Our story is a little different because we go way back. So, I mean, he did Junior 1, Junior 2, yada, yada, yada. Now he's 35 years old. So, anyhow, he is just primarily a masters. He dabbles. He can go run senior every now and then, drop a little weight. And he does very well. Anyways, explaining to people, I'm kind of with Matt, Justin, and everybody else. They all think it's like yard carts. So most people don't even have a clue what we're doing. So I generally just pop out a picture and they go, oh, that's like, the K1 and whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not that. So it's kind of amazing that everybody knows what go-karts are, but they really don't know what racing go-karts are. So I try to educate whenever possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are our Kart Dads joining us tonight. So if you have any questions, we can put them in the comments. We're going to get some videos, but so we're going to start with, let's talk about your experience and do any of you guys have motorsport experience? Did you race go-karts before? Let's start there. And if you didn't, we can talk about how you found go-karting. So we could start with Matt. Josh doesn't.
Yeah, I do not. I have some family friends that ran Santa Maria dirt track when I was a young kid and a teen. But myself, no, I was never involved behind the wheel. And for us, it started out, this is Kate's fifth season racing, and it started with Kate asking, can I have a go-kart for the neighborhood? And the wife and I started thinking about all the bad things that could happen about our kid getting ran over by some neighbor or something like that. So I went on to like some of the, I'm trying to think of the name of the website for your local area to buy things, use things and stuff like that. So we found a gentleman up in Modesto that had a Tony kart, and we have no idea what year it was, and it just happened to come with the Briggs on it. So that's how we found our way to the LO206. The used go-kart that we bought had a Briggs on it, and we started out in the Target Super Center, like just their big giant disbursement area to the north of us on the weekends with cones. And we then found out there was a track at Button Willow and Old Bakersfield, but we just made our way out to the track eventually, and then we started meeting some amazing people. And Brian Kemp and his son Aiden. Brian kept on telling me, Matt, you got to put him in a race. You got to put him in a race. I'm like, I don't need to put my kid in a race. I'll just let him go drive on the track. And he's like, no, you got to put him in a race. So that's kind of how we found our way to karting, was just we found some used kart and went to a parking lot and ended up on a track eventually. So
Let's see who's next. How about you, Justin?
Well, I started racing. Went to a boat show in Reno, and some of the guys there from Reno were passing out little cards with the NNKC on it. And so then we called up Cole and we got some karts and started racing. I started in super stock and won a couple of races there, but it got too hard trying to be a mechanic and doing both. So I decided I'm just going to work on the karts. And now I'm mechanic for Jeremy and for Nathan. Now I'm down to one kart. So Nathan now is the only one racing. Jeremy's out now for at least till August. But, you know, we started doing it together and it was a family thing. And we've been doing it ever since and having a lot of fun.
Very cool. How about, let's see here. Jason, how about you?
Yeah, as I'm watching this video, I actually bought my first go-kart from somebody at Davis. And when I was older, I was just starting college. So then through my college years, I ran go-karts and and a bunch of stuff. Met a lot of cool people. So naturally, I wanted to kind of get Gavin into it. And he was racing dirt bikes at the time, and I'd been hurt doing that. So I was very excited to put him on four wheels. And of course, he went out and broke his arm at Santa Maria, like the third race. So that was proving me wrong. But yeah, so I've been go-karting for a long time. In fact, I've got a lot of buddies, really close friends. Some of you guys know them, the Sea Rocks, and a couple other friends that I used to personally race with. And our kids now all race together, and it's kind of brought our whole group back together. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of like full circle for all of us. So it's pretty cool.
All right. I love that. All right, Chris. So now you.
Now me, my story. You know, I got hooked as a kid. My parents were not into motorsports whatsoever. So I grew up boating, doing water sports, and a good neighbor across the street decided to take me to, this goes way back, West Capitol Speedway. Used to be in West Sacramento. The sprint cars, they were actually super modifieds back in the day, which have now grown to that. Anyways, I got hooked on racing. So they didn't want me to do that. So, I dabbled in a little bit of sports, a little bit of football and whatnot. And I always had it in the back of my head that I just loved racing. So anyways, I went and saw a kart race one day and I said, that's it. So I started karting in the 80s and I did pretty well and loved it. And Mason, my son, started getting old enough and we decided to get him into it. And I scaled back my racing to help him. So we went through the ranks, and as he got to be a teenager, to back up a little bit, we were fully sponsored with Emic go-kart sponsors for years. And then anyways, we went did a little bit of NASCAR super truck racing, did that for a few years, ran out of money pretty quick. So we took a long hiatus, and a few years ago, we got back into karting. He is now obviously an adult, and we push each other now. It's kind of fun. It has come, full circle. I taught him how to do it. Now he's out there like, darn it, Dad, can't you do this, that? And, he's riding me and making me better. So we push each other really hard, and we have a whole new it's a whole new love for the sport these days. And I'm one of the few dads, I think, out there that actually race with their son. So we have a little something special, I guess, that's a little different. And we enjoy it, push each other. And I think we're having the time of our life with karting right now. So it's that's about it. That's my story.
Yeah. And you guys are taking all the trophies from everywhere. Did you notice that too?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, we're doing really well, and we, like I said, we push each other really hard. So if I'm a little faster than him, he's not taking that. So he'll wrench and work hard, and we share, and we work out of the same tent, and so. It's like I said, full circle now. He's teaching me, so enjoying the heck out of it.
That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the kind of like the past accomplishments of your driver or yourself. What's something that your driver has accomplished recently? And Josh is here too. So we could.
Hey, Josh.
Okay. So let's talk about your accomplishments of your driver. So who wants to start?
Okay.
Just want to keep going in order. Go for it, Chris.
Mason's on a roll. I think he's got 5 in a row wins. We've gone to the Nationals a few times. That Duffy has eluded him. So he told me if he can get that Duffy, he would hang up his helmet tomorrow and be satisfied. I know that he's full of it. That ain't going to happen. Not the Duffy. I'm sure he could do that, but anyways, he has a great resurgence in the karting. It's been very, very healthy for him. We are sponsored quite well through Unleashed Power. Jerry Apodaca helps us out tremendously, and it's showing. And so anyways, I think we're off to Texas. Gonna go try to get that Duffy. So,
all right, that's what I wanted to hear.
Chris, when is the Texas race?
I don't have the exact date in front of me, but
Chris, it's August 2nd.
August 2nd. There you go.
August 2nd. And what track are they going to?
It's Amarillo.
the next weekend.
It's August 9th through 11th or something like that. It's the 8th through 11th. It's not the 2nd. They moved it from the 2nd.
When did they do that?
A couple months ago, I thought, because I saw it on the website that it was like the 8th through the 11th or something.
Chris, when is it? I think it's the 2nd still.
I'm looking it up.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I got to change plans.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Hold on.
That'd be the first time.
No, you're
August
going-
2nd through the 4th, according to Texas Sprint Series.
Never mind then. I'm wrong. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry.
So either you're going to be 2 weeks late or they're going to be 2 weeks early. I see the strategy already going into play here.
All right. Accomplishments of your driver.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Mine's pretty short and sweet because Gavin's still a junior, but he's really only done karting. He was doing some motocross stuff before that, but he's got a couple of trophies from CCKRA and a few from Prairie City. But we're gonna, just like Chris said, we're gonna go again. I think to the Grands, IKF Grands. He knows enough to know that he wants a Duffy, so we'll go and see if we can run somewhere in the top there and see what happens as well. But hopefully that list will get longer.
Yes. All right. Jason's putting up the info.
It's the August 2nd
For-
through the 5th or something. 2nd through the 4th.
But we can finish talking about accomplishments of our driver, and then we can move on to the next question.
When anyone says Amarillo, do they get that country song stuck in their head? Amarillo by Morning? No, or just me?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
All right. Matt, did you tell us your accomplishment, your driver's accomplishment?
I haven't accomplished anything, Ashley. Cade's coming off of Donald's spring series. He was the champion for that. A lot of tough racing in the senior group. Not everyone in the group ran the full series though, so maybe we have some different outcomes and stuff if everyone's there for all 4 races. Last year he was 3rd at Showdown in Phoenix. The previous year, his first year in senior, he was the KPX runner-up, and then he won the Super Showdown in Phoenix. Go back to junior 2, he was the first year we got to run KPX in 21. Year 2, I think he was 4th overall, and then in his first year he was a CKRA junior 2 champ, and he was 3rd at IKF behind Bowden and Chase in Santa Maria that first year in junior 2. So that's just kind of some of the stuff that he's done.
Yeah. Sounds like he's had a good time.
Yeah, he loves it.
I do need to add one more thing, if you guys don't mind, and I'm going to get in big trouble if I don't mention this. Mason has, I believe, 14 championships through the years. So he would kick me in the butt if I didn't mention that, so I mentioned it.
There you go. All right, Mason, you heard it here. Justin, what is your driver's accomplishment?
So for Jeremy, he finished 5th in the last year of the KPX in junior 1, and now he's doing his 2nd year in junior 2. Nathan, he finished a couple of weeks ago, or about 3 weeks ago at Reno. He won the race for senior and won the race for heavy, and got the pole on for both races. So that's his best accomplishment that he feels right there. So Nate's starting to win, and hopefully he can be up there with Cade soon and race at the front. So that's his goal right now. He's kind of fitting into his cart now and getting very comfortable working out, and has lost 20 pounds since last year. And getting in better shape. Doing our own fitness challenge. So
Yeah, there you go. Everyone's getting fit this year. All right, guys. So Josh did have a question, and so he's gonna ask his question, and then we'll move on to the next section. But
Make me word it.
yeah.
So, since all you guys were competitors in some way, shape, or form, whether it be karting or, I know Matt personally, he competed in track and field and whatnot. How do you guys set your competitiveness aside when you guys are letting your kids race and let them, be competitors? Like, it's hard for me, even being a mechanic, like to put my competitive spirit aside and even let my drivers. Like, I couldn't imagine it as a parent. So I was just
I'm going
curious.
first. I'm going first on this, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the night. So I'm not a karting dad. I'm a swim dad. My daughter's a swimmer, and years ago, I'm the guy that paces the pool. I'm constantly coaching her. That's me. I am junior dad. And one day I asked my daughter, I go, "Why do you love swimming so much?" And she goes, "Because when I'm underwater, I can't hear you yelling at me." So ever since she said that, it's like, all right, point taken. Okay, go back and enjoy your swim. So the kids will let you know.
I'll let them know.
It's definitely been a learning process for me. In year 5 now, I've really tried, especially this season, to take a step back and have a much bigger view of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Because of my background and my wife's background and our older son and involved in his athletics and stuff, it's about Cade and what he's doing on track and not getting caught up with drama and things that may take place or reacting to something. So I've really, over the last couple of years, as he's improved and things have transpired at different times, trying to take a step back and just let, yes, Cade's a minor and he's a young man, but he's finding his way. And if he has to talk to an adult or he has to talk to another team about maybe something that transpired on track, I'm his mechanic. Yeah, I'm dad, but to take kind of a step back and let him figure that stuff out and not get my blood pressure up or get so uptight about something or something that I thought that happened. Hell, I've never been in a cart seat on a track 2 inches or an inch from someone or rubbing wheels. I don't know what that's like. And so for me to even try to put myself in his shoes or think that something happened to him or he did something to someone else, it's just trying to step away from that and let him figure that out and deal with that and grow from it.
Yeah, Matt, to your point, Gavin's kind of the same way. He's a little bit younger than Cade, but not much. But I used to pretty much take the reins just because of my background on what we were doing and set up and
sure.
And now he's a very even-keeled kid. That's what I love about him. He doesn't get too worked up or too down on himself. I think I'm the opposite, so I gotta kind of rein myself in a little bit. But I think the only time we ever argued was last year at a Prairie City night race he's like Cade is. He's doing a lot more on the car and he's starting to understand what he wants. And I argued to make a change in the main, and he argued completely opposite. And then at the end of that argument, we just decided to go his route, trust him, and it was the right way to go. From lap 2, I could visually see it was the right way to go. So, yeah. So it's for me, it's about, just like Matt said, it's about like stepping back and realizing, he's growing up and he actually knows a little something about what he's doing. So I gotta tend to trust that a little bit more.
right, Justin.
Yeah, so Nate's kind of the opposite of me. He's kind of calm out there, very kind of thinks about everything he's going to do before he does it. I'm more emotional, jumping up and down in the stands. Jeremy is more like me, a little bit more aggressive, and he plays baseball too. And baseball is nothing like karting. You're sitting in the stands and you're kind of just watching it. But when you're out there on the track and you see him rubbing wheels, it's a whole different experience. And I may be the father. I don't get in fights or anything, but I'm up there jumping, maybe cussing a few times there. But they've learned to control their emotions a little bit more. And I think most of you guys have met him and see how calm both of them are. Jeremy's a little spitfire, though. As time goes on, he's a little bit meaner than the rest of us.
All right, Chris.
Well, this one's tough for me as Mason's an adult, and we're both so competitive. We just really feed on each other. I don't have to step back or him step back. We just try to help each other and do the best we can, and we both have each other's backs. And I think that's the one thing that we're actually working on right now is our emotions at the racetrack. It's real easy to get wrapped up and get a little over emotional about a bump or a bad start or something. We're trying to remember, at the end of the day, it's a go-kart race. But boy, we take it darn serious, don't we? I mean, you better not mess with my boy, and as far as him, you better not mess with my dad. But we're trying to rein that in. We feel that's one element that we really need to work on. And there is so much more to karting than just putting that kart on the track and tuning and doing all that, as we know. I think the emotional aspect of it is a lot huger than we all realize, or some of us realize. So anyways, like I said, I think that's what we're working on the most right now. We're fast. We got tune-ups. We got all that down. It's in our heads that's where we need to work. Even with all the experience that we have, we still have a little bit of an issue with emotion. So we're both checking each other on that right now. And that's about all I got to say about that.
That was the perfect ending. That was the perfect segue.
That was a little Forrest Gump in there,
All right, guys. The next question is, what's something that you've learned about your driver through karting? So we can go around, but something you've learned about your driver through karting. Chris, we could start with you, and then we'll go up the opposite way this time.
What I've learned from him is that his kart was on the grid running, and he was in the pond fishing. So I learned that at that point, he thought fishing was a little more important than actually running the race. Little joke there, but we couldn't find him, and he was fishing. So anyways, I just think,
was that Medford?
Was it Medford? Where
I'm trying to think what track has a pond.
Where it's got the creek, running through there, and I think that was Medford.
Or was it Pat's Acres?
No, I think that was Medford. There's a little creek that runs through there. Anyways, he was fishing with his buddies, and yeah, karts on the grid started. So I think what I've learned from him is just pure determination. Just pure raw determination. He has taught me that. So I would say that's the highlight. Yes, that's it.
All right, Jason, what's something you've learned about your driver through karting?
Patience. He's a like I said, he's really pretty even keel. I'm not. So we kind of go back and forth, and he's honestly he's a better role model for me than I think I am for him as far as emotions and stuff like that. I always look back on the weekends, and I'm usually definitely more proud of how he reacted if it was a bad weekend than how I reacted. So that's definitely something that I always look at. And I think that's definitely true. He's good like that. So something that's like continuous work in progress for me, especially when it comes to racing. I'm just uberly competitive.
All right. Justin, what's something you've learned about your drivers through karting?
So karting showed me that Jeremy can be very competitive and how much passion he has for it. And for Nate, he struggled in school and kind of failed classes a lot, but once he got into karting, that's what kind of set the determination and got him to actually finally graduate high school. So we weren't sure he was going to do it this year, but I think karting helped him get through it, and he finally graduated high school. Not the best GPA, but he did
it. Well, that's great news. All right. Matt, what's something you've learned about your driver through karting?
You know, I think I'm going to steal a page from both Chris and Jason on this one. Karting has shown me, one, how determined Cade is, how driven he is. Doesn't matter if something's bent, something's not right. He's going to wheel the hell out of that cart and do everything that he can with it. And just how competitive he is, because away from the track, he is very much so an introvert. You know, he's very thoughtful and stuff. He's a thinker, but when we're at the track, there's a different side of Cade that comes out. And I'm just so thankful to karting to be able to experience that and see that from him. And yeah, like what Jason was saying about Gavin, and that's kind of from Josh's question earlier about, you know, how I'm acting and trying to take the higher road and stuff like that. My kids helped me a lot with that because of being so competitive and wanting him to do well in the sport, that, you know, he's very much the one keeping me in check. And hey, Dad, it's all right. We'll be fine. This, you know, he's the even keeled one of the two of us. So
I was gonna say, we call that second side of him that shows up, we call that King Cade, because usually when that side of him shows up and he's just on it, he's like super fast.
All right, here's some video from Rock Sonoma. And all right, so we are going to transition a little bit, but let's talk about the benefits of karting. What are some things that you have seen that maybe could even go back to like how you explain it to your friends who don't kart? Like, what do you say the benefits of karting are to people who are wanting to get into karts, or kind of looking to you guys as the more experienced ones, but the benefits of karting? Sorry, now I'm watching the video too, but so we can go around benefits of karting.
Well, I can fire off.
Go ahead.
Well, for us, as Mason growing up, this was years ago, and it's still happening. But the peer pressure, the gangs, the trouble that he could be getting into, you can't do that when you're out at the go-kart track all the time. So it kept him focused, gave him something to do other than, doing the, in a way that was bad because he missed some of the social things, from school that were good, but it kept him away from all the bad stuff. And so I try to share that with younger drivers and dads. The camaraderie that we built together that would have been tough to do in other sports. It's the coach, he's running the team, making the plays, making the calls. When you're karting, you and your driver working on the car, you win and lose together. There's no coach in there. There's none of that. So it's kind of funny when we left and did some other things. It wasn't so much about the tracks and races that we talked about. It was the camaraderie. Where's so-and-so, remember this, remember that day we did this and that happened and we went out to dinner and we did this and that. So it's all about, the experiences that we live together, not necessarily the racing itself. So I would say building of the camaraderie and, just being a team of, father and son, excuse me, again, which is really tough to do in like stick and ball sports. You're under the canopy in the shade cheering them on, but you're not calling the plays. So anyways, that's what I'd like to share.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say something similar to that. I mean, I look at my relationship with Gavin. He grew up playing baseball and a whole bunch of other sports, and nothing compares, honestly, to the go-kart being at the track, and not even being at the track, but the prep, with even working out, but the prep on the go-kart, getting it to the track, getting it on the track. And then that, for us, especially at the beginning of this year, I feel like we've taken it to a different level where it's not just dad and son. It's like a different almost conversation between, driver and, I don't know, pit guy, but, it's almost like we have a different sort of level of communication when we come to the track now, which is super cool. Cause I look at it like, I've only got a few more years left, I think, and he's going to be possibly, going to college or doing something else. So, I really honestly cherish the time.
No, and I agree with both of them. It's a time that we can spend together. Got the boys, recently we've been racing about 6 weeks straight. And so spending the time traveling down to Tucson for a 14-hour trip in the car together is a lot of fun with the boys. But it's brought us together. They've stayed out of trouble. None of them's been in trouble, which has been great. But they learned that teamwork with their dad, with their other karters that they have. And it's just been a great experience to be there with the kids. And now they're starting to learn how to kind of tell me what to do to their karts. So like with Nate now, I barely have to do anything because he grabs a wrench and starts doing it himself, which is responsibility he's never had before. And it's great to see him build that way.
I just prefer the dinners.
Yeah, because you remember that place you went to, what type of restaurant, what we were doing?
Yeah, we've gone over it many times on this show over the past 3-4 years that Ashley and I have been doing this, and it's there's all there's a lot of good memories on the track, but most of the ones that people rehash are the ones off the track.
Right, you remember that hamburger you got at that one restaurant? Might have been a dive, but it had the best hamburgers you've had in a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or just
I might be biased.
Or family.
Yeah. I mean, one of my best memories off the track, I'm still with her. I met Ashley at Prairie City. I mean, for God's sakes, when I was like 11 years old.
But Matt, did you answer the question?
No, I didn't hear what was going on, and I had to check out and check back in. So
It's the benefits of karting.
wow. First and foremost, I've caught on a little bit from what the guys were talking about. The time spent with my son. That's been amazing because nothing can replace that. And to watch him grow as a young man, things we were talking about earlier, just decision making and having to, as a young teen, having to talk to adults and figure things out, and just to watch him grow in the sport. And he's always been way ahead of me, and I just he leads the way and I follow, and I'm just blessed to be able to witness his growth and the young man that he's becoming, and karting's been a huge part of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thanks for sharing that, everyone. And we can all agree that karting is very near and dear to all of our hearts. Chris, Mason wants to know what your most favorite win you or he has won.
Holy roly. Boy, that's a tough one. Geez. He's put me on the spot. We both have a lot of wins. Actually, I would have to go with my most recent win, or one of my most recent wins over Ethan Wilson. He, I don't know, he fell asleep there at Prairie City, and I was able to get by him, and I took the win. I was there to capitalize. It's just the freshest on my mind right now. There's a million of them that I've seen Mason win. And a really close second would have to be Sears Point for him in the tag. Bill McAllister was sponsoring us. He had Kart World at the time. We were on a Burrell. And Mason went out and smoked him that day, and I was so proud. So I should probably put that one first, but I'm gonna toot my own horn with getting Ethan Wilson at Prairie a couple weeks ago.
Yes. All right. That's awesome. Okay. So, as we're going to wrap up, I want to ask this question that I asked the moms as well. What do you want to tell the role models in this sport? So, some of your kids are the role models, or your kids look up to certain drivers and something like that. So what is something that you would like to tell the role models in this sport? So we could start with Justin, and then we'll go around just like it's on the screen.
So mainly for Nate, Cole has been a big role model for him, Cole Nelson. And, they've worked hard together, and we've seen Nate grow over the last few years, and he's got better and better. And for Jeremy, he's kind of the role model because he's been through some accidents over the last year. And seeing him back at the track, like this last weekend, we wheeled him up in his wheelchair in the track, and all the kids are coming up to him, checking on him, seeing how he's doing. And having him back at the track I think it kind of inspired a lot of the kids that if they get injured to kind of get back out there and not be afraid.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that he was out at the track.
Yeah, he was out cheering on his buddies at the last race we had this weekend.
Yay!
Same deal when he flipped with us at San Maria.
Yeah,
and then, all right.
Hey, Justin, we were on Race Hero. We weren't there. Can you just explain what happened real quick?
Yeah. So Jeremy was he came out of the snake pit and he was going down there to the hairpin, and he had no brakes. He went and pushed the brake pedal, and he crashed right through the barrier and hit the metal fence post, going full speed right there. And so he broke his ankle and his heel, and he had a nice kind of open fracture on the heel. He had a big gash. So he spent about 2 days in the hospital so they could clean it out. And so hopefully he'll be back for IKF Grand Nationals, but he may have to miss that race. And otherwise he'll be back for that.
What was the cause of the brake failure?
I think what happened, he came out of turn 2 and went up on the hill and plowed some dirt.
Yep.
And it pulled the brake line underneath the cart. And so it created a flat spot on the line and made a little tiny hole. So when he went in the snake pit, he had brakes, but then they were gone after that.
Got it. So there's a slow leak. They just leak that.
Correct.
When he needed them, he didn't have them.
Yeah, the worst spot to be at.
Yeah, I was right there, guys. Watched every bit. Man, he hit hard. That was he's a tough kid. I wouldn't have survived that one. It was tough.
He didn't cry one bit, but his steering wheel was bent from where his body hit that. But his safety gear.
But he hit the actual pole of the fence, not
right. He hit the pole, so he went right
head
to
on.
the pole.
Head on.
And Chris was there. He was I think he was like the first one.
Yeah, I was right there. Yeah, I was the first one on the scene. Yeah,
I think he's kind of mad about the suit that you cut. But
I didn't cut the suit. I've had to cut a few with Mason, but I didn't cut the suit.
Oh my
Tough
God.
kid,
Dude, all the best to your son. He's a tough cookie, Justin. I mean, I was with him when he flipped in Santa Maria, and that was another brutal one too, man. Like he's tough, dude. I hope to see him out there soon.
Yeah, he'll be back, but he didn't cry one time, so I think that adrenaline was kicking in. But he's a tough kid.
Give him my best, man.
I will. Thanks.
All right, Jason. What would you like to tell the role models in this sport?
I just think that as these kids, as I've watched Gavin grow and a lot of the kids around him, as they were younger growing up through karting, just really the last 3 years, but they're always watching the older kids and especially the faster kids and what they're doing, how they're reacting to incidents or celebrating victories, whatever that is. And I think it's important for, especially the older kids, that they try not to forget. I know it's hard because they're still young too, but try not to forget that they are being watched by Junior 1 kids and the Kid Kart kids. And there's a lot of kids looking up to them, how they're reacting after either a big win or a tough loss, or they got taken out or whatever that is, and how they end up handling that situation. So, because a lot of kids will end up emulating, a lot of that stuff too. So I think that's important.
All right.
Did Josh fall off the desk?
No. Juliana's calling me from the other room, so I sent him to go. But okay, Chris, what would you tell the role models in this sport?
That's a tough one for me. As far as what I'm enjoying now, sort of maybe a little opposite of y'all is as Mason has become quite the role model to youngsters. I think he's gained a lot of respect from them, and I see him, and he'll take the time. He sees someone struggling or they're having issues. He seems to be able to connect with the younger kids really, really well. And he's actually starting to do some school, a little bit of classes. And I think he's a great role model. I had nothing to do with that. He's his own man. Karting has developed him into what he is now. And he's trying to share with others. And I think he really makes a connection with them. So role models for me are I'm too old for that anymore. There's really nothing there for that. But I think he's stepping up and giving back to the sport, to the youngsters, and I really appreciate that. I love watching it. I can just stand in the background and kind of watch this happen. So I'm proud of him for sort of taking on this role, and it's organic for him. It just comes natural. So he's my role model, Mason, my son. Got me kind of teary eyed.
Awesome. All right, Matt.
I
All
think
right, Matt.
right along the lines of what Jason was saying, that that younger group is always watching and looking, and I know for Cade, he's kind of gotten in a role where he's looked up to by younger drivers, and I feel like he's doing a great job with that in how he carries himself, and the fact that so many people have given to us in the sport. We come off the track, we'll talk briefly. If he wants something changed, he'll let me know. Otherwise, I'm in the pits by myself because he's at someone else's pit. He's looking at a kid on track. He's looking at someone's data. He's talking with another driver. And he's really trying to do what so many people did for us, and help younger people out and try to help them improve in the sport. But yeah, just like what Jason and Chris talked about, just, people are always watching you, and conduct yourself properly and give back, because so many people have given to us.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys, all great answers. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are going to go around and let everybody start their clothes. You can shout out your driver, your team, your home club, track, anything like that, and let us know where you guys will be racing next. So yes, like Phil Hand says, all of you dads are role models. Happy Father's Day to everyone. We'll go ahead and start with Justin. You can start your clothes, shout out your driver, team, club, track, and then we will make our way around.
So our team name is Heath Brothers Racing, since we got the two boys. And our next race is going to be the night race at Reading for part of the Gold Rush series. And, recently, last week, we had the Silver State Shootout in NKC, which a lot more people would have been there for that. But we had an Invader kind of dominance that week. And Nate ended up finishing 5th, out of the money, but at least he got a trophy out of it. And then we'll also be going to Amarillo to Texas for the IKF Grand Nationals for that. I guess we'll see Chris there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck, you guys, and we'll see you around. Jason, you can go ahead and go next. Shout out your team, your driver, your club, and where you guys are going to be racing next.
Our team is me, Gavin, and my wife, pretty much. Big shout out to the Sea Rocks and my old friend Donnie Davis. They're always there. They're helping us. They support us quite a bit as well. And then Nash Motorsports, Seth Nash has been a longtime friend. He helps us out with go-karts and stuff. But we'll see you guys in 2 weeks at the night race, and we're excited to come up again for that. Those are fun.
Hey, I'm excited.
Yeah, if you're listening and you've never done a night race, check out the Prairie City Summer Series, because you can have 1,000 laps at your home track, and when it's under the lights, it changes.
Sure.
All right, Chris, go ahead and shout out your driver, your team, your club, your track, and where are you going to be racing next?
All right. Well, it's Unleashed Power Racing Team. Jerry Apodaca is a team owner engine builder, sort of a quasi Team Britain, sort of in the middle of that. Shout out to Prairie City. We will be there for the night race. Also, we're going this weekend to Reading to another night race. So we're looking real forward to that. Let's see. After that, the night series at Prairie. I agree that you can have those 1,000 laps at the track and you turn those lights on. It is like going to a whole new track. So I'm a little nervous about Reading. I think we're going backwards, and I haven't run there in a million years. So old man better get his goggles focused and get on the stick. So we're hoping to go up and put on a good show, and hopefully I can stay awake all night. There you go.
Wow. All right. Well, we look forward to hearing how you guys do, you and Mason. Best of luck to you guys. All right, Matt, go ahead and shout out your driver, your team, your club, your track, and where you're going to be racing next.
So Cade's on a VLR, and we really like to give special thanks to RLV and Art and Rod and Miranda. We came from CCKRA, and that's where we started. Though we don't get to run with them as much as we'd like to anymore, that's where it all began for us. And huge shout out to the Story family, the Kemps, the Vasquez family. They've all played huge roles in Cade's development, and we'll be seeing you guys in 2 weeks up at the PC night race. So that's where we're at next. So thank you so much, guys, for having us on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And like everyone was saying, we'll see a lot of you guys at the Prairie City night race coming up. So, yeah. Jason, you got anything else?
Yeah, well, do we lose Justin?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like they signed
anything
off.
else?
Yeah, my normal. I'm not going to say much tonight. If we all get one person in karting, we'll double by next year.
All right. Upcoming events coming up next week. Bye, NorCal.